Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Scorpio in June 2020. What is going on, Scorpio? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, guys. How's everything in your life? How's this pandemic treating you? Where I am in the world, restrictions are lifting, but things are kind of chaotic here in the States. If you're aware of current events here on May 31st, 2020, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Don't aim to politicize in my public life at all at this point on my channel. But wherever you are in the world, Scorpio, whatever you're doing, I hope that you're safe, that you're secure, that you're happy, that you're healthy. Oh my God, conflating words. That you're healthy and that you're happy. Okay. If you're going out and you're doing anything in the world, grocery shopping, standing up for people's civil rights, whatever you're doing, make sure that you are doing it safely and securely, okay? All right, general announcements for June, dear Scorpios. Your girl is going to go live at some point here in the month of June. I'm making a promise to myself and to you guys, all my viewers, that I will go live for all the collective here on my channel. If you aren't subscribed, I would consider subscribing and making sure your notifications are turned on. That way you can catch me when I do go live. It's not going to be scheduled. I just want to do it when the energy is right and when I've got the free time, The biggest issue is having the free time. So if you want to catch me for that, again, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Anything else for June? No, I don't think so. So let's go ahead and get into the regular spiel. Scorpio, I've shuffled off camera. That there is your main spread. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also down there, you're going to find the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have a question before you place a personal order, you might want to clarify something, feel free to email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And also in the description box, you're going to see the link to my Instagram. The name for my Instagram is EmpathicFire Tarot. Ta-da! It's right there on screen again in case you missed it at the top. And right now I'm really only interpreting oracle cards over there. I do it a couple times during the week. So if you want to follow me just to get another slice of what I do, that's totally cool. Eventually I'm thinking of doing some pick-a-card stuff over there. So look out for me to, do something different over there as well, okay? All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's see Scorpio's outcome in June 2020. Scorpio's outcome in June 2020, please show me. Ooh. Okay. Hey now. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. There we go. It's a little crooked, but we're going to let it ride because it doesn't have to be. No, it's got to be a little straighter than that. There we go. Something like that. And then, okay, I'll go with it. All right, you only have one card come face down, Scorpio, so let's see what it is. Hey now. All right, and let's get into this. Let's see what is happening here. Please show me where Scorpio is in June 2020. Please show me Scorpio in June 2020. Please show me. Okay, we got there. Ooh. All right. A little between two places, but this one ended up coming out stronger in the end, okay? Scorpio, coming into June, you come in with the Two of Swords. I don't know why I just made a weird accent. But there we go, Two of Swords. So, looky here, friends. What you gonna do? What are you going to do? Two of Swords. Being caught at a crossroads, having to make decisions, having to make your mind up in a situation, and definitively move forward one way or the other. There is this element with the Two of Swords about fence sitting, about feeling caught between two choices or feeling paralyzed about having to make a choice, having to decide something, and basically saying, I'm not going to decide anything. I'm just going to sit here and let the choice stare me straight in my face. On the traditional depictions of this card, we will see someone who's actually blindfolded, so not even looking at the choices or not even looking at the situation at hand. Now, Scorpio, this is a general, so if it's flipped the other way, that's totally cool. Go ahead and ride with that. But I'm going to address it because this is your reading, so I'm going to address it as if this was Scorpio. In many of your cases, it absolutely is you. If in some of your other cases, it's not you. You're dealing with someone like this. So take your pick. You know your story better than I do. Okay. So there's I'm feeling like super inflexible. I'm feeling stagnation. Like, oh, that's very. I don't want to say it's graphic, but that's very interesting. So what they're showing me is I'm literally seeing in my head like a cutout of the traditional depiction of the Two of Swords, which again is a woman. She's got two swords in front of her chest and her eyes are blindfolded. So I'm seeing this. It's like a cartoon. And she's standing literally at a crossroads, go left or go right. And behind her is an erupted volcano and lava. It can move slowly, but it can move fast. But there's like this lava coming towards her, towards the back of her. And instead of taking off the blindfold, going left, going right, this lava is coming up behind this little cutout of that artwork and basically is threatening to consume her, to kill her. Because if you stand in front of lava, you're probably going to die or you're going to get really burned up, right? So there's like this feeling of if you don't make a decision, something else will make the decision for you, right? There's this call to do something, to react, to respond, to move, to stay, to move left, to move right, to move up, to move down, move, do something. And by staying still, it's almost like a forfeit of the option, and the forfeit is actually worse than either of the options. Like, again, with what I was just stuck with in my mind. I don't know about you. I would rather choose to go left, to go right, to between these two pathways, than to be consumed by hot lava. Just saying. Personally, me. As a human being, I don't want to die by fire, by being burned by hot, molten lava. Okay? I just don't. So there's that aspect here where, it could be about pressure, could be about timing. Okay, so that's the other aspect. Because I'm like, most of you are not going to be, standing in front of an active volcano and just sitting there. Okay, so this is the image of the lava coming towards you, or towards the Two of Swords character, rather, is time. You're running out of time. Pressure. You're being pressurized into a choice. Could be, in some of your cases, feelings of doubt or being overwhelmed or consumed by something dark. Okay. That's interesting. Being consumed by something dark. That feels like a personal issue. I don't know what that is. Don't want to really guess, but that might make sense to you. Being consumed by something dark. So 3 things: time, outside pressure, external pressures, and being consumed by something dark. That's kind of the gist of what the lava is in my mind. Okay? Hope you were able to follow me there. So you stand at a crossroads with the choice in front of you, and you actually don't move, or you're in like a really precarious situation, Scorpio. Yeah. Oh, and the lava can be fear, because I don't know many people who aren't afraid of, active volcanoes. Like, most of us don't live near volcanoes, and if you do, I would assume you're always like, is it gonna be today? Anyway, so what else happens for Scorpio? Please show me. Yeah, buddy, you're not moving. Well, okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. It feels like sort of do or die, but then it's also like, if I don't do, I'm still gonna be okay, but I'm also not okay with being where it's, ay Dios mío. Where is this coming from? Okay. Clear that up. That's not single. That's not a single story. Please, come on. Right. So, you could do nothing and still be okay. But that is still not desirable. That's what that is? Yes, thank you. That's how it was. Sometimes I'm like, tell me what's next. And they're like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, well, I can't talk about all of those at one time, you know? So anyway, so what else happens is the hangman. Secondary major for Pisces. You could be dealing with a Pisces or not at all. It is a general. Apply it, you know, where it fits. And that's not super clear. I said focus. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So here we have this cute little bat with his cute little red beady eyes. You know, kind of cocooning itself, kind of, you know, embracing itself, you know, keeping itself safe, right? And it's just hanging there. It's not going anywhere. It's not flying away. It's not, you know, can bats like walk or crawl? They just fly, don't they? They're either perched or they fly. So anyway, and I don't know if that's true. I'm not a zoologist. Anyway, I feel like you are wrapping yourself up in stuff as a distraction. That could also be what the lava is, distractions. You're wrapping yourself up in things that are not imperative or important to the choice that is looming in the Two of Swords, right? You are doing something else. And that's not exactly the traditional interpretation of this card. Traditionally, the hangman is indicating, yeah, you might be wrapped up and you might be sort of suspended in midair, so to speak, but you're doing so with a purpose. I'm not sure that you guys are doing it with a conscious purpose. I think that many of you are doing it just because if I don't think about that Two of Swords energy, if I don't think about the choices and the changes or whatever that's, you know, the precipice that I'm standing in front of, I don't have to accept it as a part of my reality, right? That can happen with the hangman. You can willfully embrace ignorance or blissfully embrace sort of this, well, I don't know, or I didn't, you know, it's like wishing away. It's almost like a wishing away of circumstances, wishing away of this Two of Swords choice or this pressure to do something, this pressure to make a choice. It's like, I don't, oh, I haven't heard that in a while, or visualize this in a while. It's like an ostriching. I used to say that when I first started this channel a lot. And I don't know if I said it with the hangman card. I might have said it with the Two of Swords card. Ostriching. What do I mean when I say that? For those who are aware of like old school like Warner Brothers cartoons or like Disney cartoons where they would draw an ostrich, you know, those long necked birds that they would bury their head in the sand, right? That's kind of what this hangman feels like. And that's not necessarily the best utilization of this energy. Like I said, the hangman does put you in a state of suspension. It does tie you up. It is an energy that implores you to pause and reflect. But I think you're paused. I don't think you're reflecting. I think that you are, again, distracting yourself in something. So what do I mean by that? You could be, you know, just to use an arbitrary example, okay? Here in the States, tax season was extended because of the pandemic. So because of that extension, some of you still haven't filed your taxes. And it's kind of like, I mean, maybe you have a reason for that. Maybe you consciously know you didn't set up your W-2s and your W-4s and all your forms right. And you know that when you go to pay taxes, or file your taxes rather, you're going to actually owe the government tons of money. So you don't, with this Two of Swords, you cross yourself off from making the choice to file, right? Or get proactive and get ahead of the money that you're going to owe back to the government, right? You kind of are aware, or you're suspicious and you're thinking, you know, I could just, you know, go and preemptively file as soon as I can, da-da-da-da-da. And the other side is maybe I don't file my taxes at all and run the risk of doing this and da-da-da. And it's just like you don't do anything, right? But you distract yourself doing something else. So instead of being, quote unquote, responsible and taking care of your taxes or whatever you're needing to take care of, you distract yourself and do something else. So in the middle of owing taxes or thinking I might, you know, end up with a big, you know, fine or something from the IRS, I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to start baking bread. Just going to start baking bread. Everybody's doing that in this pandemic. Let me start baking bread. Has nothing to do has no type of resolution to offer you towards the tax issue that you have. But you're baking bread in the middle of a pandemic. So my time is held up, right? I'm not able to do anything normally in society for the most part, right? Can't really go to work, or I can't really go to the gym. I can't really do this, can't really do that. So I'm just going to pick up this arbitrary hobby of baking bread, even though my big issue of taxes, tax avoidance, whatever, is looming behind me. You know? So it's like a misuse of your time, a misuse of your energy, a misuse of it's a major arcana, so it's sort of it's a nudge from spirit, from universe, from God, from your intuition, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. You've been nudged. Hey, poke, poke, poke. Hey, Scorpio, hey. Maybe we should maybe we should get something in plan. Like maybe we should get a lawyer to help us with this. Nah, I'm going to bake some bread. Anybody want pumpernickel? I'm going to do pumpernickel today. What? Why? I feel this has been a storyline for Scorpio for several months now. This knowing something has to be done, but doing nothing. Or doing something that is not even remotely near a solution or helpful to your situation. Right? Yes, that's because yes. Because yes. Now you're like, what the hell does that mean? Because yes. Because above this position of pumpernickel baking, right? If you're going to bake bread, give me some, because I love bread. And I'm joking with you guys. Don't send me bread. I don't need it. Anyway, above that position where spirit, your guides, you know, your conscience, whatever you want to think of, or wherever your nudges come from, missing the chance to utilize this energy correctly or most effectively, let's say it that way, right? Influencing that, or possibly where the nudge is coming from, why the nudge happens, why in the middle of, you know, mixing the dough, you're like, I really should get a tax lawyer. It's like a quiet voice. You should get a tax lawyer. And you're like, all right, I'm just going to continue to knead this bread or knead this dough. You know what I mean? You ignore it. It comes from here. You ignore the nudge that comes from here. 10 of Wands, which is, you know, this. There you go. This very sketchy, very dark card in this deck. The Wild Unknown, right? This is the Wild Unknown Tarot, right? Isn't that what this is called? Yeah, the Wild Unknown Tarot. All right, so 10 of Wands. Looking very murky. Looking very, you know, uninviting. And, you know, Scorpio, my dear friends, you guys are the kings and the queens of darkness. 8th house stuff, okay? It's one of the darkest houses there are in the zodiac wheel. I'd say 12th house is kind of dark too. 10th house can have a little bit of darkness, but not that much. What else is a dark house? I'm sitting here just like thinking of this for myself. 8th and 12th are probably the darkest. 6th house a little bit, because, yeah. Anyway, you guys are known to go deep and to go dark and to really brood in that energy, really, really, you know, germinate in that energy. And I think you have been for however long. This is Wands. This is a 10. So you've been doing it for a minute, you know? Some of you, this has been several weeks or months. Others of you, it's been years you've been doing this. And it's unpleasant, but somehow, Scorpio, you tend to thrive, or you tend to learn your biggest lessons in your darkest moments. It's kind of what 8th house is all about, right? So you've been in a situation, state of mind, relationship, business, whatever the circumstances are, for a while, and it's progressively gotten darker and darker, heavier and heavier, more burdensome, day after day, week after week, month or year after year, whatever. The more time adds up on that clock, another wand is added to the bundle that you see before you. So there's complications, there's drama, there's fallouts, there's arguments, there's misappropriation of funds. Some of you are in some financial trouble. There's this misuse of cash, right? There's an abuse of power. There's all this stuff that just keeps accumulating. And like I said, you tend to thrive in those energies. What do I mean by thrive? I'm not saying it like you get off on it like it's a thrill and you love the drama. No, actually, Scorpios tend to like peaceful situations. But when situations become dramatic or situations become hardships, you don't shy away from them and you kind of dive deeper into them for various reasons. Now, if you've had issues with taxes, your own taxes, taxes in your business, taxes in your household, in your marriage, whatever, you have a certain sense of duty that keeps you attached to things longer than you might need to. That's fixed sign, issue. That's issue of 8th house and Scorpio in general. You are a fixed sign that is in the 8th house and you are Scorpio. Scorpio has insular energy, right? Like, keep it in here, keep it in the bubble, right? So, because of all that, but we'll call it a sense of duty. It's kind of your natural inclination, but we'll call it a sense of duty. You possibly get yourself deeper into trouble, deeper into drama, deeper into complications than you possibly need to. But that's how you learn. That's how you thrive. That's how you grow, right? So what I'm sensing is in your house, in your business, in your personal life, in your own personal development, this could be all something that you're dealing with in your external life actually is very wonderful, okay? You know your story better than I do, how it fits for you. So it's getting to this point where, because this is a 10, right? It's getting to this point where it's do or die, breaking point kind of stuff. And that's that, going back to that image of the lava rolling down the hill towards the Two of Swords energy, being stuck at the crossroads. There's a breaking point coming. If you don't choose life, the circumstances, the universe, spirit, the cosmos, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, something other than you will make the choice. It's also another way you could think about it, a proctored exam. You go, you take the SATs, you go take certification for something, you have an hour to do this test. Not an hour and 1 minute, not an hour and 15 minutes. If you don't answer every question on that Scantron, aka make your choices, the machine will take your incomplete test and they will mark you for it. If you didn't answer question 15 in time, you're going to get question 15 wrong. Even if you chose A and it wasn't A, the answer was C, and that would have been the wrong choice. It's like it's removing of your choice. And I don't know, as a person, as who I am, as my astrological makeup, I don't like to not have choice. And I feel that some of you are letting something ride for so long that you're going to be exempt or see your choice be removed. I don't like that as a person, right? Who doesn't want to have choice? Who doesn't want to have some type of ability to plot their course, plot their own pathway, right? I feel that perhaps because it's gone on for too long, like I said, some of you are feeling overwhelmed. You know what I mean? If this is about for some of you, again, this is about money. You might owe a debt. It doesn't even have to be taxes. You might just be in incredible student loan debt or incredible credit card debt. Thank you. Credit card debt. Okay. You might owe 60 grand to Citibank, and Citibank is like, hey, Scorpio, where's our money? And you've been ignoring their calls, ignoring their mail. Now that all affects your credit score, which, is attached to your livelihood. If you allow your debts to accumulate and you don't mitigate them, you don't get them into default, you don't file for bankruptcy, you don't do anything, and it just builds and builds and builds. Like I said about this 10 of Wands, it builds and builds and builds over time. You eventually suffer a poor credit score. And what happens when you have a poor credit score? In some cases, you can't get employed. In some cases, you can't, apply for a loan or be qualified for a loan with a good interest rate, right? Which means what? You can't purchase. You have no purchasing power. Like I just said, if you let this sit, the choice will be made for you. You don't pay your debts back. And I'm not saying that, out of nowhere, you're just going to have 60 grand. I'm not saying that. But because you didn't take any steps to mitigate the problem, to work with the creditors, to work with the people that you owe, and you just let it sit and sit and sit and sit and sit, your score gets tanked. And now you have a low credit score or some type of, bad mark on your credit report. And now you can't purchase. You possibly can't get employed. Housing will be an issue because they will run your credit for that. Like, it's a whole thing. And that's a shitty, I'm not going to theorize or anything about what I think about what that system means, but that's the system we live in. That's the system we work with, right? You know that. You know those are the parameters, right? Or you're learning those are the parameters for those who maybe you didn't know all of this was interconnected. It is. You go charge a card up at a big box store, and that credit gets reported back to Experian or some shit like that, right? You're thinking, oh, I bought a new TV, a new fridge, and everything like that on my Best Buy card, and then I let it go and into default. No problem. And now I'm ready to move out of my apartment. No. Credit report says you owe this money. That shows to whoever you would be leasing from, whoever you want to, get a mortgage from. Oh, you're not good with money. Why are we going to give you money if you're not good with money? You don't pay back your debts. We're not going to give you a loan. That's what that proves to them. Whether that's fair or not, But that's what this feels like. And again, this is just an example. If it fits for your story, perfect. But that's what I feel like. You have possibly knowingly let something go on longer than it needed to, and you might be having to suffer the consequences. So, what else happens? Because that was a lot. Lord. Let's see. Show me what else happens for Scorpio, please. Some of you have been too trusting. Yes. Some of you have been too trusting. Some of you have been too trusting, and you're connected with a person who did not deserve your trust or who took advantage of your trust, right? Yes, thank you. Okay. Or you're looking to be protected by someone. That's twofold. So I think what happens is this burden, this accumulation of stress and strife that's in the Ten of Wands, connected to in some way to the Father of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be dealing with an earth sign or not at all. Now, Father of Pentacles presumably is a provider, is a caretaker, male or female, earth sign or not, you apply it to your life as you see fit. This could be you. You could be seen as the provider in a situation. You could have been entrusted to take care of the bottom line. You could have been entrusted to take care of people's personal accounts. Again, some of you are in trouble with the IRS, straight up. And, God help you. Because I don't know the specifics of your situation, but I do get the sense that some of you are in trouble financially, big time. And presumably the Father of Pentacles, Pentacles being most related to money than any other element in tarot, you have been entrusted to be wise with cash, and you haven't been, or you're dealing with someone who hasn't been, okay? I sense that this person, whether it's you or someone else, Scorpio, kind of relied on that reputation of that role. Because I am blank, you should trust me with this, and I will take care of that. And that is the presumed way it's supposed to go. But this energy, whoever it is not proving to be capable. I feel as though, for whatever reason, because the eye line, it's okay, you put this down here. The orientation of that buck is to the right, and the burden, the issue, is behind them. This person has turned their back on the issue. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. For those where you're attached to someone in business, in a relationship, in a marriage, in a commitment, in some type of partnership, all right? Whatever the type. This person may have abandoned ship. This person Okay, that's another thing that some people don't know and they find out till it's too late. When you become attached lawfully with someone through a contract, through a marriage, through business paperwork or whatever, you co-sign on a loan with someone. If the primary person on a loan defaults, it falls to the co-signer. And some people do that and they don't know what that means. And it's not a blame game, and I'm not some financial guru, so please don't take financial advice from me per se. But someone may have signed on to some type of contract or loan, promissory note, right? We are granting XYZ person a loan for 50 grand with under the conditions that they have a cosigner. You, Scorpio, could have been a cosigner to this person. They default. They don't pay back. And now the creditors or the person that has issued, the company or the entity that has issued the loan is like, so hey, Scorpio, dear cosigner, we got this paperwork that says back in 2016, 2012, however long ago, yesterday, okay, not yesterday, but you know what I mean. It doesn't matter when you did it. We have paperwork that says you agreed to be financially liable for this. And you're like, what? And they're like, yeah. And you're kind of like, but wait, what happened to Father of Pentacles? That's the person who's the primary. And they're like, yeah, and they're not paying us, so now it's on to you. And you're just like, maybe you're like that, like exasperated, frustrated, because you were trusting this person because of this person's status, Father of Pentacles. If you're going to trust anybody to have their mind right when it comes to money issues, when it comes to issues of stability, this is the person. This person or the Mother of Pentacles. They're both equally masters of the Pentacles. I should be able to trust you to take care of business. Apparently not. Apparently not. So this Father of Pentacles, based on their status, based on possible previous proof, I feel like in some cases you were begged, you were coerced, or you were trusting of your own choice in this person, whether they persuaded you or not. And that choice to trust is biting you in the booty, in the buttocks, okay? And I'm not saying, lesson learned. I'm not here to be that person or suggest that to you. But I think that realization is bitter for you. It's a bitter realization. Because trust with a Scorpio is like top of the list, right? To trust a person, and it kind of works with all fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The trust I give to you is the trust I expect back. It's not, it's an equal give and take, right? So the expectations of dignity, integrity, honesty, fidelity, okay, is there inherently when the fixed signs give their trust, right? Or embark, oh my God, what do you call it? Whatever, the trust you offer to a person, right? I'm trusting you with this task. I'm trusting you with this responsibility. AKA, I trust you would take care of this with the full most integrity that I would. I trust that you take this seriously like I would take it seriously, right? That's your expectation. And you gave it to this person, and they have shown to be not worthy. And possibly, to a larger extent, you're the only one who thinks this, or you're the only one who has this knowledge. Because I get the sense that this Father of Pentacles person has the undying trust of other people as well. Again, business associations, family ties. Okay? If you are in a commitment with this person, this happens all the time. If you're in a commitment with this person, their friends, their family, they're like looking at you. What are you talking about? Father of Pentacles is perfect. And you're like, no, he or she is not. You don't understand. I'm trying to tell you. They are doing things that are not good. They're doing things that are actually counterproductive to our home life, to our business together, whatever. This person has other people around them who, that's why they show up as a Father of Pentacles, because other people around them are perceiving them to be still this way. They're actually not as accomplished in this moment of the recent present moment. Maybe years ago they were top of the class, or the best in the business, so to speak, right? Flash forward to June 2020, or the majority of 2020, I think this has been going on for some of you for a while. This person isn't as capable as they used to be, for whatever reason. Pardon me. Like I said, if someone uses your business account, you guys own a business together, and this person is, charging towards the business behind your back. You've known them for 15 years, and now all of a sudden, over the past year or so, they've done shady dealings. It's kind of like other people in your industry know this person. Oh, you can trust her. She's great. You can trust this guy. Oh, yeah, sure. And you're like, no. They've been screwing me and screwing our business and messing everything up. That's interesting. Okay. That's another way that we can look at this. Check this out. So, you see those antlers? See how they're all colorful and bright and very attractive, right? I think in the world of animals, I think that's how some animals know not to screw with some other animal. Look at those antlers. Don't go over there. You are going to get into some rough trouble, right? So this is like a signal to others that I am a force to be reckoned with, right? However, notice the choice of color versus black and white monochromatic, right? Those, in my mind, Scorpio, are possibly fake, right? Because the body of the buck is black and white. Everything else around it is black and white. But those are like super colorful, meaning it's an adornment. It's false. It's not what it appears to be. Like in nature, if a buck were to show up with rainbow colored antlers, that's like abnormal. It's not true. It's not how that particular animal shows up in nature. So there's something about not 100% true. This could be you. Take it how it resonates, okay? So the burden builds because trust was given and it wasn't necessarily honored, right? Even if it wasn't completely broken, it wasn't honored. And you are roped into that because you've decided. At some point you decided to trust this person, to trust the situation, to invest, right? Because again, some of you, this is about your money. You've invested. And you, at this point, Scorpio, you know something has to give here. Yes, self-preservation. Listen, I don't advocate for abandoning things. Not truly, because it creates bad karma, basically. But I do get the sense that you now have to sort of play your hand and play it wisely, play it effectively to outdo this person. Because again, even though they haven't shown themselves to be a Father of Pentacles, a King of Pentacles, a Queen of Pentacles, a master at what they're doing, right? They may have been in the past, but maybe they're not today. They still are perceived that way in the public eye, right? So this could be like a politician or something. You know what I mean? Or like, again, you could be... oh, God, I don't want to say that. But I'm going to say it, okay? Okay, I'll use it this way. So if your partner, marriage partner, business partner, what have you, but let's say marriage partner because this is the specific case that I was reading about today. If your marriage partner is implicated in a crime and is charged with a crime, in order to protect your assets, you best divorce that person as soon as you can. Why? Because in a marriage, both parties are liable. Both parties' assets, both parties' resources can be pulled upon in a criminal or civil case as assets used to pay for damages done, correct? That's the general basis of those laws, right? So, Scorpio, if you were involved with someone who did bad deeds, who let things fall to the wayside, and you're on the hook for it, there is this energy in you or in your vicinity or in this storyline somewhere of self-preservation. And in order to enact that, you have to trump this person. I say trump in the way of the cards. Major arcana are also known as trump cards, right? So your Empress energy beneath the Father of Pentacles, next to the Hangman, very aptly, the Empress card. Secondary major for Taurus and Libra. You could be dealing with either of those signs or neither of them. The Empress is definitely a master of the Pentacles energy, okay? Empress is, again, attached to Taurus, which has that earth energy. It also is attached to Libra, which has that air energy. So it's being smart about resources, being smart about stability and money, right? It's also a self-contained energy or self-sustained energy. There's only one tree here, and it's lit up and it's looking vibrant and it's looking lush and all that kind of stuff, right? So there is this sort of putting yourself forward, putting your interest forward. The Empress is a nurturing energy because it's related to Venus, right? So it is a nurturing energy. It provides. And like I said before, when I first picked up this card for the Father of Pentacles, the presumption is Father of Pentacles is a provider. Empress is a better provider, straight up, in terms of the tarot, in terms of the hierarchy of the tarot. This is a court card. This is a major arcana. Major arcana trumps anything in the court cards or the pips. The numbered cards are pips, okay? So there is a greater power, a greater capability to do what the Father of Pentacles should have done coming from the Empress. So, like I said, while you're making the pumpernickel, baby, you might want to consider calling that financial lawyer, calling a tax lawyer. I co-signed on a loan for my kid. They've overspent. How can I protect myself financially to, in some respect, keep the responsibility, the trust with the person that was the primary on the loan? Something like that. I don't know how legally effective that approach is, but my referring back to making of the bread is because again, with the Hangman, in the midst of doing other things, you have been ignoring or not facing the tough choice of possibly having to preserve yourself first. Scorpio is definitely not one to abandon the people they know and love. Like, you're a little sacrificial, a little bit. Like, okay, it's like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I've never even seen that movie, but I know at the end they die together, right? Spoiler alert for anybody who didn't see it. But basically, they're two friends, they're two comrades, they're two outlaws. It's a Western, right? And they both decide together, we're going to go down together. Another one, Thelma and Louise. We're going to go down together. At any point, Thelma or Louise could be like, you know what, bitch, I'm out. You know, I'm tired of this cross country running from the cop shit. I'm going home. I'm going to turn myself into the authorities, and you can go ahead and drive off that cliff by yourself. No. They hold hands at the end, you know, woman power, and they go off the cliff to their death. Again, spoilers for those who haven't seen it. So you have that energy about you, Scorpio, but I don't think between this and that you actually want to do this, that you actually want to go down with this person, or for this person's misdeeds, for this person's poor choices. That's more your speed, if I'm honest. Okay, 8th house. Your tendency is more like, you're gonna say, oh, we're in this together. Yeah. I got your back. You know I'm loyal to you. And then slowly tiptoe away. Yeah, I'm with you, girl. I'm with you, dude. Yeah, uh-huh. Yep, I'm coming. I'm coming out. Yep, uh-huh. And you back away. That's more the way you would do it. Some of you might be a little bit more upfront, just to play the odds. Some of you might be like, yeah, I'm not going down that train. I'm going to sell you down the river. I need to protect myself and my own interest. Either way you slice it, I feel you've been nudged, okay, to put yourself first, put your interests first, to protect yourself, to leave this person on the hook for their misdeeds. And again, the issue is because you've trusted them, because you actually care for this person. You love this person. You respect this person. You still trust this person. Some of you are still like, I can't believe they did this. They did it. Or they're doing it. Or they're not helping the situation. You asked them for help. You asked them to help get both of you out of this hole that you both happen to be in. And they're just sitting there, arms crossed, not doing a damn thing to assist you in the situation. And you're like, I guess I'll just do it myself. No, baby. Do it for yourself. I'm telling you, this person, for all intents and purposes, is quite a liability at this point in your life. And you know that. And some of you, I think I said this before in a previous reading, it's hard to do because you're related to this person. They're your family. They're your friend. You care about them. You love them, right? But I'm telling you, the more you attach to this person, or the more you don't resolve this situation, you stay stuck in having to make a choice, that lava is going to come behind you and consume you. The IRS is going to come down with a hammer on both of y'all. And what's going to happen then? You both go and get slapped with these fines. You both get implicated in some type of misdeed, some type of crime, some type of wrongdoing. How does that help? Whatever. I can't preach to you about this because you'll make your own decisions. But this corner and this corner, final card in your main spread, the Chariot, Major Arcana for Cancer, this and the Empress speak to your own devices, your own choices, your own self-preservation. Chariot, as you can see, is a horsey horse, and it indicates some type of movement. It is surrounded by immovable energy, stagnant energy, right? So it's not an easy choice. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, it's so easy, Scorpio, just do X, Y, Z and your problems are solved. Hell no. Super hard. But again, that's kind of what you like, whether you are conscious of it or not. You like to be burdened. I shouldn't say you like to be burdened. The strife that we talked about in the Ten of Wands, that hard lesson stuff, it's kind of your bag. You're ruled by Mars and Pluto. That's particularly talking to those Pluto aspects. Pluto, it's almost like a Saturn light. You know, if you know anything about how the planets overlap in tarot and astrology. Pluto is a little like great losses, great strife will somehow bring you to a point of enlightenment and a point of better days. And that's kind of your bag, Scorpio. You got to go through the fire, my good old Phoenix friends, okay? That's one of your symbols is the Phoenix. You got to go, and I think I've said this to you before, you got to burn to ash before you rise up and become greater than you were before. So it's sort of the opposite journey of what we talked about with the Father of Pentacles, how the Father of Pentacles was in this position of being so great, of being so powerful or believed to be effective, right? And now this person has de-escalated. They've sort of become lesser than they used to be. You're going to become greater than you used to be. At least that's what I think you want. At least that's what this is telling me contextually. What stands before you is inflexible energies that you participate in, okay? Keep yourselves accountable, okay? But this Chariot is showing a desire to move away from that shit. I don't want to be burdened. I don't want to be distracted and escaping my problems. And I don't want to be in a position of not making decisions for myself, of letting others make decisions for me. Like I told you, You don't answer the questions on the Scantron, they're going to be read as incorrect responses. So you might as well roll the dice and pick A, B, C, or D. You got a 25% chance of being correct, even if you're uncertain of the answer that you submit. Does that make sense? Like, why would you want a 0% chance versus a 25% chance? I'm not even good at math, but I know those are better odds. 25% versus 0% is better, right? So, but some of you are in this uncertainty thing, and you're letting your uncertainty and your doubt and your fear stop you. Bullshit. Stop that. You want to move forward. Chariot is about progress. Chariot is about pursuing dreams. Chariot is about moving from circumstances that are not serving you to circumstances that absolutely serve you, because you put yourself in the driver's seat. You begin to drive your own course and you make up your own path. Scorpio, do it. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, you don't have to, but Jesus Christ. Outcome for June, justice. So, this is a biggins. This is a biggins, because what have I been talking about? Some of you guys have issues with law, issues with the courts. You got lawsuits coming. You got lawsuits filed, or you're about to submit a petition, whatever. In some of your cases, this is about a dissolving of a relationship, business, romantic, whatever type of partnership we're talking about. This is a severing of those ties, and it's from a position where that's another thing Scorpio tends to do. Look what you made me do. And it's not like in a, way in which you're trying to exert or assert to a person, look what you made me do. You look what you made me do. Like you're blaming them. It's more of like it's usually from a place of, look what you made me do. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to have to do it this way, but because you sort of put my well-being or my stability or you didn't prioritize me. So it's like a gotcha energy or a checkmate energy. Like this person or this situation has constantly put you in check in terms of chess, constantly been putting you in check. And so when you're constantly having to protect your king on the board, you gotta rush to get a checkmate in order to win the game, right? It's interesting that I said chess because black and white pieces, right? Black and white little kitty cats here on the card. So you've been put in check, and here comes justice. It's the checkmate, right? So maybe this whole time with some type of financial debt, you've been trying to pay creditors. You've been trying to keep your credit score in a desirable range, right? But now maybe with the pandemic, you lost your income, and this person that is also financially tied to you, they're not doing anything to mitigate the situation. So you sever ties as quickly as you can, as smoothly as you can, because I can no longer help us and you're not helping us either. So I got to do this thing to protect myself. I advocate this. You have to be an independent person that's able to, in some form or fashion, stand on your own 2 feet and stand in your own integrity. And sometimes it sucks to do that because you have to remove yourself from other people. It's not to say you remove them because you don't care. You remove them because, if we're in a damn sinking boat and there's a hole in the boat, and I've got a pail and I'm scooping the water out, throwing it back into the ocean, and the other person in the boat is just sitting over there on their ass, not doing a damn thing, you're damn right. I'm not going to continue to do this work for the both of us. You're either going to pick up the slack and help me, or I'm going to find a way to leave you here on this sinking ship. Do you get me? That's what this feels like. It feels like look what you made me do. You didn't aim to help yourself or me. So I have to go, put on a little life vest and swim my ass to shore and leave you out in the ocean to sink by yourself. Who's going to be mad about that? Who's going to say, why'd you do that, Scorpio? Like, no, you don't see, that's where it's coming from. The people around, like people on the shore. Hey, you left that person out to sink. They weren't helping me. So I swam to shore to save my own life. Get out of my face. That person drowned at sea, and that's their business. Well, you should have helped them. They didn't help me. And I was the one pitching the water over the side to begin with. I was helping them. And in the middle of the crisis becoming worse, they didn't do anything. Or they made the situation worse, drilling more holes into the fucking boat. Give me a break. Listen. It's fine. Four of Cups. Overall energy. I mean, it's kind of what I was just saying. There was an offer in the situation and it was rejected. You could have rejected an offer previously, Scorpio, so go ahead and hold yourself accountable if it was you. But somebody here made not great offers, or whatever was offered wasn't tangible or usable in the situation. It wasn't satisfactory, okay? Something about whatever we're talking about, your financial life, your business life, your home life, whatever we're talking about, your family issues, whatever. Something here turned sour and it just never got, it never got better. Whatever you offered wasn't good enough. Whatever they offered wasn't good enough. Your efforts were taken for granted, were eaten up like this little rat. You know, you're offering a whole loaf of bread and this freaking mouse, this freaking rat eats the whole loaf of bread. Because you're baking bread, like I said earlier. Can you imagine? Anyway, so you offered this whole loaf of bread and this rat or these mice around you, these little vermin around you are eating up your bread. And you're like, hey, vermin, what are you going to give back to me? And the vermin looks at you, you know, picking its teeth. Huh? Well, I put a loaf of bread out here for everybody, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. So do you have something for me? What'd you say? What do you have to offer me in return? I'm feeding you. I'm offering you sustenance. I'm trying to make the situation better. What do you have for me in return? I got some leftover crumbs. You want these crumbs? The crumbs from the same loaf of bread that I gave you? Are you serious? You piece of work. No, ma'am. No, sir. So, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it at that. You understand what I'm talking about. As Scorpios tend to do. You guys know more than you ever let on. Just a fact of life. Anyway, that is your reading, Scorpio. If you liked it, the like button is down below. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonates in your life. That's super cool. If you want to share the video, let other people know that you like watching my stuff and you think I'm a pretty cool person, that'd be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed, friends, please consider subscribing. The community continues to grow. I'm meeting new clients and I'm enjoying doing that work. I'm enjoying doing all this work for you guys. So if you want to be part of the crew here, just please consider subscribing. Scorpio, if you want a personal reading, excuse me, that information is in the description box, as well as the link to the Instagram, okay? Scorpio, I'll be back very soon to do your mid-June readings. Until then, I thank you so much. Take care.